here's my review of Spider-Man Brand New Day. I'm just going to say, right off the bat, I really like this movie. I had a really fun time with this movie, although I will say I had quite a bit of problems. And I'm not going to be as high on this movie as so many others are because, like I said, I liked it, but I just have quite a bit of problems with it. And I'm going to start off with a lot of things that I liked because I did like this movie and I liked a lot of things. I think that the visuals in this movie are probably the best that they've ever been within Tom Holland's movies. It just feels so much more colorful, a lot more vibrant, a lot more just real, like less green screen. It just feels a lot more real. And the whole New York aesthetic just adds that personality. Like that's one of the things about like something like the Raimi movies or even the Andrew Garfield movies. The New York feels like a character within itself in Spider-Man movies. And I feel like this movie finally nailed it. For Tom Holland, at least. I'm just going to be honest. It just feels like there's a lot of plot lines in this movie. And this movie almost feels just like, I get they want to like go big. But it just feels a little jumbled. Like we have stuff with Scorpion who was set up like all the way back in Homecoming. And even here, like he's not really a main villain. Like he's in the movie and he gets a cool fight scene with Spider-Man, which is awesome. But like he's not like a big part of the movie. And that's when I kind of just got to get into some full-blown spoilers. Even like, so, because I got a lot of things I got to say about this movie. So let's just talk about Sadie Sink's character. You know it, I know it, we all know it. She's Jean Grey. And like I said, I like the casting of Sadie Sink as Jean Grey. I think that she's a pretty good actress of the stuff that I've seen her in. But within the context of this movie, and it's not really the movie's fault. It's treated as a big mystery on who this character is, but when we, the audience, know, and obviously, like, if you're probably not staying off the internet and, like, you know nothing about this, you just go to watch the new Spider-Man movie, then, yeah, maybe you won't know. But maybe that's just me. Like, it kind of felt like just not the story itself wasn't connecting with me as much just because I already know who this character is, and it just felt a little weird. And this movie, like I said, this is actually kind of a positive and a negative. One thing that's good about this movie is like it's one of the things that I love about the MCU, where like we have Hulk in this movie, we have Punisher in this movie, and like when Peter is going through changes in his increasing in his spider powers, like you can go to Dr. Bruce Banner and ask him for help, say what's going on. And that just makes this like the MCU just feel like the MCU. And that's what we love about it, where it's cool that all these characters do exist in one universe. Yeah, Peter can go talk to Dr. Banner, and that's really fascinating. And I think a really good scene in this movie is probably just, I mean, people say it, Spider-Man fans say it all the time. It's great to see Peter depressed. Like, there's a moment where he's just so lonely. Like, when he, like, jumps off a building, you really don't know if he's going to catch himself. Like, you can tell he's thinking, like, obviously you know he's going to catch himself because it's a movie. But you could tell he's thinking about not catching himself. And it just adds that emotion and heart into the movie that I feel like the other ones just didn't have as much as that. But when it comes to like some of the overstuffed plots, like I think it's cool that Tom Holland Spider-Man was developed, going through a metamorphosis, gaining new abilities, getting organic webbing. That stuff was all really cool. I really liked that. Like that was a really cool plot line. I'm just going to be 100% honest. Whenever we just go back to Peter and MJ and Peter and Ned and MJ, I'm just going to be real. I don't really like those characters. I don't like Zendaya's MJ. I don't really like Jacob Batalon's Ned. I think they're really uninteresting and just boring characters. So whenever they're on screen, I just don't really care. Like that's a me problem. I get it, but I'm not going to just lie and say, well, yeah, I'm biased but at the end of the day, this is my review. This is my opinion. But I assume it's not really going to bother as many people. But that was just me, and I couldn't help shake the feeling of this movie. It's like, in the way the final, like literally the final scene of this, like the final scene of this movie, I hate. I'm just gonna be honest. And like that final scene is what I was worried about, and it's just frustrating. I think that Punisher in this movie is really the best that he's ever been in the MCU because for once, he's not always so sad. Look, I love John Bernthal's Punisher. I liked his show. I loved him in Daredevil Morning in season 2. And I thought his special was pretty solid. I thought it had problems. And he was really good. And I liked him in Daredevil Morning I loved him in Daredevil season 2. And then I loved him in Daredevil Born Again season 1. And I liked his special. But one of the problems with the Punisher, John Bernthal's the Punisher in the MCU, is a lot of times, like, he's just always so sad. And I get that's part of the character. But at the end of the day, like, he shouldn't, this is about a man on a mission, and he shouldn't always be basically explaining why he is the way he is. And in here, he just is the Punisher. He is ruthless. He is brutal. And that's just great to see. And it's so cool to finally see, like, a Marvel, like the MCU Netflix characters interact on the big screen. This is the first, Daredevil was in Spider-Man No Way Home, just Matt Murdock for like one short scene. But Punisher here is an integral part of the plot, and it's just great to see because I love the Punisher. I love John Bernthal's Punisher. He's just great in every scene he's in. And the Hulk's in this movie. And that's where a really big positive comes in, is for once, the Hulk is rageful. He is angry. I hate Professor Hulk. It kind of just takes away the point of the Hulk, because the point of the Hulk is he's this rage monster. The way he jumps, the way he almost like jumps like a gorilla. He walks and like he's giant. He's angry. Like, don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. That is the Hulk. And they got rid of that with Professor Hulk. And for years, I'm just like, this is awful. I can't. Like, what makes Professor Hulk any different than a character like Thor? Like, if he keeps his intelligence and he's just another strong guy, who cares? And for once, and finally, they get rid of that. And we get an awesome fight scene between Spider-Man and the Hulk. And it's not really super long, but it's really fun. And even the Punisher is in there. And it's kind of unintentionally funny. Like, when we have scenes of, like, Punisher shooting the Hulk, knowing, well, like, we know, like, dude, what are you doing? Also, like I said, I think one of the problems with this movie, I think, is a lack of a clear villain. Like, we have Tremel Tillman's character of head of the Department of Damage Control. I don't even remember his name. As William Metzger, the Department of Damage Control. He's basically the main villain of this movie, but it doesn't really feel like it. Like, and I think the lack, like, we have Tremel Tillman, we have the Hulk, we have Sadie Sink's Jean Grey. We have all of these, like, characters, and, like, Tremel Tillman is kind of, like, the main guy pulling the strings, but he's just not really that interesting, and, like, he doesn't really feel like he's the main villain. It's just weird, because I think that this movie is just a little bit jumbled. But when we have scenes like Spider-Man fighting the Hand, and him going, like, full-blown spider, and unleashing, like, you see how powerful Peter can really be, like, when they, like, he basically, because earlier in this movie because he's getting these mutations, he develops, like, a chip to, like, suppress it. And when he takes that off and just seeing him go full, just get powerful, as strong as he can be, it's just an awesome scene. It's great. I really sound like I'm complaining about this movie and tearing this movie down. In many ways, I am complaining about this movie. But that being said, I had a really fun time with this movie. I thought this movie was good. I just didn't absolutely love it. And, like, Spider-Man's my favorite character. I hold him to a high standard. But I'm not just gonna glaze, like, a movie just because I had a really fun time with it. And at the same time, I liked this movie. It was pretty good. I thought it was good. But I just had some problems with it. I still think that the best Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, personally, I think is Spider-Man Homecoming. I think that has the best character arc for Spider-Man. I think just the side characters don't get in the way of Peter. And I think that Peter's lesson's great. But this movie is good. I think that the atmosphere is amazing. Like, if the camera work and cinematography it just feels a lot better. It is better than in those previous movies. I just think that the inclusion of Ned and MJ bring the movie down. I think that the lack of a main villain, or at least a good main villain, because William Metzger, he's not even a Spider-Man villain, he's an X-Men villain. He just kind of brings the movie down a little bit. So, overall, I had a really fun time with this movie. I liked this movie quite a bit, but I had some problems with it. But that being said, I did like it. And if you like Spider-Man, of course, watch this movie. It's going to be a blast.